Shalom WJC family. It's time for our weekly Torah talk. This week in Shul we will be reading Parshat Shelach, the story of Moses sending these spies, these scouts, into the promised land to get a report. In fact, he gives them very particular instructions. He tells them to go into the land, go up there into the Negev and on into the hill country and see what kind of country it is. Are the people who dwell there strong or weak, few or many? Is the country in which they dwell good or bad? Are the towns they live in open or fortified? Is the soil rich or poor? Is it wooded or not? And take pains to bring back some of the fruit of the land. So they go and they do their scouting mission and they come back and they say, this land is terrific. The fruit, they come back, bounties of fruit, the famous picture of the grapes held between the shoulders of the scouts. The bunches are so big, pomegranates and figs, gorgeous, gorgeous fruit. I say, the stuff is great. The land indeed flows with milk and honey, just like you said. However, they say, the people who inhabit the land are powerful and their cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, we saw Anakites there, giants. Amalekites dwell in the Negev region. Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites inhabit the hill country. And Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the Jordan. And after some protests from Caleb, one of two spies who gave a different report, Caleb and Joshua, they say, we cannot attack the people, for it is stronger than we. They go on to say, we felt like grasshoppers standing next to them, and so we must have appeared to them. Moses asked for facts. They come back with opinions, and this is how this has been framed for a long time, that what is the great sin of these scouts? Ultimately, they will sway the people. The people will rebel against Moses and God's plan, and because of this generation will die out in the desert, only to be replaced by their children, who will come and replace and be the ones to enter the promised land. But one spy here, and eventually Joshua will join him, hushed the people before Moses and said, let us by all means go up, and we shall gain possession of it, for we shall surely overcome it. Right? Joshua and Caleb are different from these 10 spies. So what's on display here? Is it real? But by the way, gives just as much of an assessment as the other 10 spies. So if the sin is you were sent out to give a clear and straightforward understanding of what the facts of the land, and you came back and you gave opinions, well, Caleb and Joshua would be just as guilty as the 10 spies. They both come back and give opinions. So you say, well, Caleb only does it in response to the other ones. Still, it doesn't seem to be what this is about. What this seems to be about is something different. It seems to be a willingness to believe in the impossible, right? And the 10 spies who come back, they look at the world as it is and they say, there is no way, no natural way that we can overcome this foe that is there. The land may be good, but it is not for us. Caleb and Joshua, on the other hand, they come back with something different. They come back with a dream. They come back with a willingness to look at the foes before them, no matter how great, and say, we, Jewish people, have something special to bring into this world, something special to bring into this land. And against all odds, we will overcome it, and we will make this home our own, this land our home. And isn't that the story of Jewish history? Don't Caleb and Joshua have it exactly right? There are always those who are downtrodden, who are unwilling to see the possibilities. Call it a crisis of faith, call it faith in the scientific or the facts or the most likely outcomes. But what has always carried Jews forward through history has been an unwillingness to accept the most likely outcomes. What has carried this small people for 2,000 years without a land through history has been our willingness to dream, our willingness to say, yeah, the most likely outcome may be X, but we believe in faith, in our hearts, in our very souls, in Y. And here we are in this moment of history facing another time when X seems to be on the horizon. Too many enemies, too much anti-Semitism, too many rockets, too large nations standing against us. And yet, once again, the Jewish people have stopped and said, no, we're going to choose Y. It may be unlikely, but we will fight the good fight for the dream of a better tomorrow. Fight against the regimes that are against the Jewish people. Fight against the regimes that are oppressing their own people. Fight against philosophy that is the same from Pharaoh until today. That there are some people who are just better than others and some who are meant to be subjugated to others. No, 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 says the Torah, says the Jewish people, says God. We will stand up and against all odds because we understand the value of the dream, because we understand the value of the values of the Torah, because we think there is a better way to live with equality and a place for all in the world and respecting human life. Because of all of that, we will press forward with our dream. We will continue to try and bring the promise of God and the Torah into the world, to bring a better morality in our small land and wherever we find ourselves in the world. That is Caleb's dream. And with that kind of vision, we can choose life as Jewish people, life in Israel, life around the world, bringing a better voice, a constructive voice to every place that we live. And we hope that that voice and that dream is fulfilled speedily today, as it has been so many times in the past, that there should be peace that reigns and a secure peace for Jews all over the world, and that all the people oppressed by their own regimes who seem to want to turn that oppression towards the Jews time and again, that they should fall. People should know true freedom, and that peace, that pax of God, pax, P-A-X, like pax Romana, pax Americana, that a pax again should fall, peace should again fall in the world, brought about by this beautiful dream. Not a sad equilibrium of deterrence, but in fact a flourishing peace of mutual cooperation and abundance. May it come speedily. May all of our brethren be safe and our hostages come home soon. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.